All right, now in light of that answer, our question is this. Was The Tonight Show really the best platform for the president to be talking about the safety of Americans and U.S. interests overseas? Here to help answer that question, author, best-selling author, #1 New York Times best-selling author, Malkin. Michelle, welcome back. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Sean.
Look, I don't have a problem with him going on Leno. As a matter of fact, he reaches a good audience. It's the #1 show. NBC's stupid to get rid of him. Again, dumb. But he didn't say anything before this. Didn't allow questions by the press. Good decision, bad decision?
Well, I think you're absolutely right, Sean, that this was a very curious venue for the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, to, for the first time, address the American people about this huge probably catastrophic situation that's going on across the Middle East and, of course, in Yemen, in Libya, and during a week when America is marking the 15th anniversary of the bombing of the East African embassies in Tanzania and Kenya, that's today, during a week when the trial opened of the Fort Hood jihadist, self-proclaimed, self-confessed jihadist, Nidal Hasan, who this White House has treated as a workplace violence perpetrator. And here is the clown-in-chief going on late-night TV to address these very grave issues. He is a master of distraction. He is the celebrity president, as you've called him, Sean. But it's deeply troubling that the White House is now spinning this as a way for Obama to connect with regular people. That's how they spun it this afternoon at the press briefing, and yet then disclosed, which they had previously tried to cover up, that what was Obama doing after this appearance? Meeting with one of his top Hollywood bundlers, Jeffrey Katzenberg, who's raked in some $7 million for this president. Yeah, real regular populist he is, isn't he?
Yeah, then he's off to Martha's Vineyard for a vacation, yes. And the mere mortals are upset because the roads are closed. All right, let me play the question of his comments about Trayvon Martin, which apparently Jay Leno supported, came up, and I want to ask you about this because this was not a case about race in spite of the way the media portrayed it. Watch this.
You know, I think all of us were troubled by what happened, and any of us who are parents can imagine the heartache that those parents went through. It doesn't mean that Trayvon was a perfect kid. None of us were. We were talking off stage. You know, when you're a teenager, especially a teenage boy, right. You're going to mess up, and you won't always have the best judgment. But what I think all of us agree to is that we should have a criminal justice system that's fair, that's just. And what I wanted to try to explain was why this was a particularly sensitive topic for African-American families, because a lot of people who have sons know the experience they had of being followed or being viewed suspiciously.
This case was never about race, Michelle. What do you make of all of his comments throughout this case?
You know, there's one thing that Barack Obama is genius at, and that is sounding like a perfectly reasonable observer of race relations in America when he and his administration have been at the forefront of racial division. When Eric Holder is continuing to hold open the possibility of a federal probe, even as Barack Obama has said he accepts the jury's decision. You've got a Department of Social Justice, crusaders there who have perverted the rule of law and who associate with, and we talked about them last week, Sean, racial demagogues and hustlers like Al Sharpton who are exploiting the Trayvon Martin case to deepen those racial divisions. You
know, you have all these kids that are dying in Chicago. I didn't hear the president being critical of Rahm Emanuel not protecting those kids. Shouldn't he be in the forefront of talking about that too?
Of course, and the liberals and the progressives who have ruined cities like Chicago and Detroit and every other urban center in this country have turned a blind eye towards their failures and the abandonment of urban youth because they don't want to reckon with the completely predictable consequences of their so-called war on poverty, of gun control. None of these things have made the kids there any safer or you're better off.
Let me give you an example. We have this tape. We aired it last night. There is a white kid on a bus, and there are 3 kids that are black, just pounding and kicking and just crushing this kid. Now, by looking at the video, you might conclude it's racial, but we don't really know what's behind this. But you could see the beating that's going on. And I don't hear anybody, the people that commented so often on the Trayvon Martin case, I haven't heard a word out of them about this video.
And this is what troubles me so much about so many of these self-appointed civil rights leaders who are enabled and catalyzed by a lot of the left-wingers in the media, and that is that some crimes are more equal than others, and they will never pass up an opportunity to try and racialize certain crimes while they turn a blind eye to other crimes that do not conveniently fit their narrative. And you can go back years and years. I remember covering the Christian Newsom murders, gruesome murders in Tennessee. It was black on white, and nobody wanted to talk about it. There was clearly, in the minds of the families, a racial angle there, but nobody wanted to elevate that case the way that so many others have. It's just disgusting to most decent Americans. Crime is not a racial issue in so many of these cases, and they've made it so because it's politically convenient and expedient for them to do so.
All right, Michelle Malkin, appreciate you being with us. By the way, we will see you in studio next week. Thanks for being here.
Can't wait.